let's go ahead and dive in to the education coordinator slot for lesson plan 3. And I'm hoping that you folks are bringing these documents with you. They're printed out and that you can take notes. At this point, let's kind of summarize what's happened. The first week we were talking about terms and concepts. And then the second week there was a whole bunch of activity. There was a lot of different things that happened on week number 2. The education coordinator introduced the I'm Relevant worksheet. During the director's presentation, we really dug in, really got deep with the I'm Relevant worksheet, watched a video on it. And then afterwards at the support session, we actually got into the work of pairing up as bragging buddies, of beginning the 10 key question worksheet, and making the commitment to build each other's business through systematic visibility. And so at this point, we have a group that is still pretty early in the process. They're fresh off making a commitment, rolling up their shirt sleeves, doing the I'm Relevant exercise, doing the 10 key questions, and some of them have already gotten together for their first or maybe even second boot camp meetings, but hopefully at least their first. What I really want to emphasize here early is that our goal is to help these people make more money and create more referrals. I would rather have people understand just a couple of the basic concepts and really rock and roll with them and build their business and create referrals just with the simple stuff than learning a lot of detailed material and be slower with creating referrals. So it's important that a sense of urgency be brought to what we're going to be covering tonight, which is, I'm talking about bullet point number 2, review of the first 2 levels of systematic visibility. Okay. The outline of the key points for lesson plan number 3, education coordinator slot, summarize what we've done so far, which I just did. We're going to dig into the first 2 levels of systematic visibility, and then we're going to take a look at what's coming next for most people, which is boot camp meeting number 2. What's the agenda? So we dig into the delivery, and I'll just go for it and deliver it as if I was the coordinator, and we'll just kind of work our way through. Hey everybody, last week the BNI director helped us form into groups of 2 or 3 bragging buddies. How many of you had your boot camp meeting number 1? And so I'm looking around the room. A few people are raising their hands, others are not. Kind of let that hang in the air for a moment so we can see who's doing the work. And then I'll ask another question. Were you able to complete the 10 key question interview exchange? Now, I'm hoping that people did, particularly the people that stayed back for the support session, really should be deep enough into where they got through this 10 key question interview exchange. And so you can see the note, which basically says, get a response like, did you understand your own business better? Or maybe understanding your bragging buddy's business better, or a systematic way of presenting one's own business, etc. So what value did you get from the 10 key questions? Really rich fodder for conversation. Remember, we only have a couple minutes, so you'll take a couple of comments and then say, great, okay, everybody open up the Power Team Roadmap workbook to page 12. And so, of course, we all do that. Any questions, everybody, on the first 2 levels of systematic visibility? Okay? Anybody have questions? And so the point here is that at this point, people should have some familiarity with what we're talking about. If not, we direct them to the webinar number 5. Take a look and look at the material. Did anyone begin implementing either transactional visibility or situational visibility to create a referral? And if yes, let's get some success stories. So I'll just keep rolling through this and then I'll come back with comments. So we're going to say, anybody have any success? Let's hear how you did it. Tell the rest of the group. And so as we have noted here, this is important because we want to hear the success stories of members getting and giving referrals from just these 2 levels of systematic visibility. Okay? That's the note to you as the trainer. What we're saying to the group now is, for those of you who didn't make it to the after meeting support session last week, be sure to watch webinar number 5 on the first 2 levels of systematic visibility. Okay, everybody? Now, for those of you who are ready to advance to your second meeting, and those who will be ready soon, go ahead and turn to page 16 in the workbook for a quick review of meeting number 2 agenda. And so all of you trainers on the line have turned to page 16. You can see the agenda. It's very straightforward. And what you're going to do now, as it says here at the bottom note, is just a quick run through of the agenda, as it will be covered in detail later. Just use the workbook page to guide your review. If most members have not completed their first meeting yet, then you don't have to get too deep here. But basically, you want to recognize the people who have been working through the process and let the rest of the group know, by opening up the workbook and at least looking at the agenda, the type of things that are being talked about, okay? The type of things that are being talked about, and then you can close up. It's very, very important that we understand the goal when we're doing the education coordinator slot. We're preaching to the 80% of the group who aren't going to be doing a ton on their own. We want to make these things visible to them so that they will at least be aware of their existence. And then when they see the results of the people who are really implementing the program, they can now connect those results to something. They may not know exactly what it is, but they know it was in the workbook somewhere. And we're helping people learn in a very gentle process. And so the education coordinator slot is all about that for the entire chapter. We want to continually make it visible, not only for the members, but also for the visitors. We want the visitors to see that we have a system in place, that we want the workbooks going so everybody can see what the process is. It will help them understand how this is a proactive organization with a plan to create more referrals. Your conversion rate is going to go up and your chapter sizes are going to increase.